I found my way home across the Grand Mirage.
Hi, everybody. Yes, hi. Well, I'm Allison Argram. This is the Allison Argram Show. Well, yes, now some of you may remember me as Evil Nellie Olson. But tonight I'm Allison Arngrim, and this is the Allison Arngrim Show. And here in the Allison Arngrim Show, we talk about things that make you feel good. The movies and the TV shows that made us feel good, and the people who made them, and people who are doing things now to make the world a better and more interesting place. And oh, I got one tonight. I'm so excited. I just met her, and I'm like totally jazzed. I've seen her on TV. First of all, she's like in everything. She's got her own production company, and she's in like a ton of stuff. But she is also, like me, a Canado American. Yes, she is a good Canadian girl. And she is on, yes, Kung Fu, the spooky ooky Kung Fu, the new one, the really cool Kung Fu. That is her. And she plays a scary villain, okay, maybe a little bit bad person. Yes, I am thrilled to introduce you to Jennifer Khoe.
Hello. Hi, Allison.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm fine. So yes, reading all your stuff. So yes, there's this fabulous show. If anyone has not already seen this on the CW, they're called Kung Fu. And no, it actually doesn't involve a leathery, weather-beaten white guy wandering the desert. But that was like the Little House on the Prairie Kung Fu was in the 1800s. This is about a bunch of gorgeous young people running around solving mysteries like Scooby-Doo, and there's like a lot of like ghosts and like weird, bizarre stuff going on. And so I tune in and I didn't watch it. And then I get this call, hey, Jennifer, go. And then I find out you're Zhao, is it, who is not really a human? Well, kind of, I guess. Is she like alive or dead? What is going on? And apparently she's evil.
She's definitely evil. She's the big bad of this season. We're in season 3, and I'm so excited because we're coming back from our mid-season finale tomorrow. So if you haven't watched it, you should catch up. But yeah, she's an interesting character that's been banished away to the wasteland, and she's trying to get back and capture all these souls and take back what was taken away from her. So.
So she's kind of in revenge mode, is what you're saying.
She's take no prisoners revenge mode. Yes.
Yeah. And what I saw, it was so weird because I was like, how is this you? Because she's just really like talk about like dark energy, like power, like you will do my bidding, the thing, I'm gonna get back to this dimension, and like scaring the pants off of everybody. And you're like, hi.
Exactly. I remember my mom first watched the first episode. She was like, oh my gosh, you're so scary, because it's so unlike me, but it was so much fun just embodying this character, both physically, like vocally, everything. I had so much fun with it. Yeah.
And she said, wait, the first time you were on, though, they had her in a black veil. So you're like, I know it was me.
Yeah. I was like, hey, mom, dad, friends, I'm going to be on TV. And the first reveal of this character is she has a black veil, which adds a little bit more to the mystery of this character. But I'm under there somewhere.
But you have been revealed, and you look fabulously evil and just like completely nightmarish, and awesome. So yeah, this villain thing. So obviously, I spent quite some time playing a young girl who had emotional problems, shall we say? She's with others, and people still hate me 49 years later. So it's kind of weird. So I understand this. When you play a negative character or someone who's a type where they have issues, or a villain and they're antagonistic to, if you do it right,
yes,
I find people will kind of suspend disbelief and get sucked in and freak out and kind of hate you for it.
Yeah, so you obviously just nailed it for your character. You just crushed it. That's a sign of success, I would say. But yeah, for sure. I mean, when you play these like nasty characters, people they believe it to be you. And you want to make sure too that you're like, no, guys, this is all just make believe. It's movie magic. It's makeup. It's hair. It's just a character. But yeah, if you do a good job, people really believe it. And even some of the feedback I've been getting on the character is like, wow, she's so evil and manipulative and So that's good. But then when the show's over, it's like, hi guys, it's me, Jen. Watch out.
So are you getting like hate mail or internet
Not yet.
hate yet?
Not yet. So I'll wait for that. That means I really killed it, right? So
Yeah. When people just, what's like a soap opera? I have friends who do soap operas, and they said that one everybody thinks it's just completely real. People who watch soap operas are
yeah.
totally invested in it happening. So they're in the supermarkets like, how could you have left
Oh
and
my
watched it like that? It's so wrong.
You
And
get
they're like,
tomatoes thrown at you.
and they're just attacking people. So yeah, when you start to get fan meets or people come up to you and just go, you just so, how could you do that?
How
That
could
was
you do that to that young
horrible."
boy?
Like,
And it's like,
that poor innocent boy, he had no control. You just
yeah.
yes. Then you know you've arrived.
Yeah, exactly. I can quit now. I've succeeded in my career.
Now, I guess you've obviously been working for ages, done all kinds of things. I take it you have played nice people formerly as well.
Right before this one, I booked a supporting lead in a Hallmark movie, and I played this bubbly, best friend tennis player. So that was Zhao was quite a departure from that character. So I've been really blessed in my career to have played all sorts of different types of characters.
We love the Hallmark movies. I so want to do a Hallmark movie. I mean, because
Christmas
yes,
Hallmark.
it's all totally like the same Christmas plot. What is it? They have a thing like a plot generator online where like
yeah. It's girl moves back to city she grew up in to save the business from this business
chunky guy who works in a gift shop
douchebag
guy.
Yeah, doesn't like him at first, but then they fall in love. So
I think though if I do it, I probably will play like the snippy mayor or city councilwoman character or something.
Yeah.
That kind of person.
You know what, Allison? I'm planning on writing. I just picked up pottery, and I'm planning on writing a Hallmark movie that revolves around like a pottery studio. Pay homage to Ghost because we have to. We got to bring that Ghost scene back, and you're going to be in it. So we're gonna do a Hallmark.
Available. I am so in, and I can be the obnoxious town busybody. That's one of my things.
Yeah.
The kind of Mrs. Olsen thing. I can totally do that. Really, I'm totally loving it. But yes, it's fantastic, and obviously the new kung fu is getting so much attention, and you aren't only part because there's been this huge just renaissance of diversity where Asian Americans are getting all this play now in TV and film. That was that. Do you think that it was really like the movie Crazy Rich Asians kind of kicked that off? That seems to like when explosion happened.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's always been, a little bit of Asian American representation in films. And I remember like Better Luck Tomorrow was a feature film. Gosh, was that early 2000s? But it didn't get much, publicity or hype. And so Crazy Rich Asians, I would say, is one of the latest films that got a little bit more attention and that kind of took things off. And I think that's one of the actors in Everything Everywhere All at Once. He took a break for 20 years after he was in the Goonies, and he saw that movie come out and he was like, wow, maybe there is some more opportunity.
Right? Because I don't know if you remember when Joy Luck Club was the thing.
Yes, that one too. I mean, wonderful.
And everybody started working, but now it's really become a thing. You turn on television, you're like, yes, hello, yes, everyone is here now. Okay.
Yeah. welcome to the party.
So it's now this is a big thing. Are you basically riding this wave?
Well, you know how it is in the industry. I mean, it's tough no matter what. There are definitely more opportunities, but you gotta work your butt off and persevere and keep at it and keep going. But it's really exciting, and I think there's more opportunities now. But I think we just need to continue to tell good stories with universal themes, and people can relate to those things. So
you still need to stand out because you can say, no, it's not just this, wave of, oh, look, there's all these people working now. No, I actually am an individual and have interesting things to do.
Yeah, exactly. and work on your craft and, be a student of the art. So, yeah.
But no, I love what you're doing on there. Now, you have your own production company. You're no slouch there.
I do. My career started behind the camera. I worked behind the scenes and was a producer for several years, got my feet wet in the music video world, which is its own set of crazy stories. And then started my own production company here in LA with my producing partner. We continue to do we work in the music industry, do commercials, and we're trying to do a little bit more narrative now. So that keeps my, my other side of my brain occupied and working while I pursue acting as well. So
when you say, "Hey, I'm looking to write and produce things," you're serious because what's called
yeah, no,
Antidote Films.
yeah, Antidote Digital is
Okay.
the name of our company, and I think it's been such a blessing just coming from the production side because I know how to make things. I know how to get things done. So, when we talk about in this industry being a multi-hyphenate and being able to create your own opportunities and create your own work, it's definitely been a blessing and a great skill to have as I, jumped in front of the camera. So,
Well,
yeah,
and exactly, and for actors, it's such an advantage as an actor to actually understand what is happening with the camera, with
yeah,
the production, with editing, with sound, with lighting. Because
yeah.
if you really have no idea, you don't know what's going on, and the more you know about the technology behind what they're doing with your image that they've just, then when you watch it, you go, "Oh yeah, well that's why that happened. That's
Yeah,
what."
exactly. And I have such an appreciation for everyone on set, like every single position from, your top above the line people all the way down to like the PAs. I've seen how well of an oiled machine this production has to be to create something. And it truly takes a village. So as an actor, it's like it's not just about you. It's such a team group effort from everyone from top to bottom. So yeah.
Excellent, excellent. And I'm seeing you're doing all kinds of stuff. Was it there's a Reese Witherspoon project?
Oh yeah, so it hasn't come out yet.
Okay,
It's been announced in the trades, but it's
cool.
Reese Witherspoon has her production company Hello Sunshine, and
Well,
they option a lot of books and things like that. So she turned the latest book, it's called The Last Thing He Told Me, into a series. It's starring Jennifer
nice.
Gardner, and
Oh, that's great.
yeah, so I got to film that. I think that should be coming out in the spring. So I was really blessed to have done a couple of scenes with Jennifer Gardner, who is absolutely wonderful human being, and excited to have that show come out. So
Nice. So yeah, no problem being busy. It's funny you're talking about, having learning all of the tech behind it and coming from that. You amazingly that's many actors have sidelines, and some actors trying to say, no, actually, I'm a fully rounded, educated person. You actually have a degree in cognitive
oh
neuroscience.
boy.
Like, wait, what?
I don't know what I was going to do with that, to be honest. When you go to undergrad, a lot of the times it's like you're kicked out of your house, and you're like, all right, now decide what you want to do with your life. But I mean, I've always loved science as well, and I thought it would be interesting. I love learning about how the brain works and things like that. So that's what I ended up, taking. And I'm not sure if I did anything. So if I play a neuroscientist at some point in my career, I might have a little bit better of a shot with some of the medical jargon and things like that.
That's right. And there's endless roles for doctors and hospital
Totally.
personnel
Yeah.
where people come up. And that's always one of the things I've always thought was so difficult. And I always felt sympathy for people on hospital shows where they have to
Oh,
blurt out all of things other than stat and
yeah.
rattle off all the medical terminology. And you just go, I wonder if they studied and knew those things prior or the night before they were going, oh man, and
Oh
having to
my
like look
gosh.
this stuff up and go, how do I make this make sense? And they
Totally.
are because there's so much terminology. So yeah, that probably would not be an issue for you.
That I love getting auditions with like medical jargon or even like lawyer stuff. I love that kind of stuff for some reason. It's really fun. So
That's fabulous. And your background really is more, as you said, there was a tech startup company. I mean, you are a more technologically focused person.
yeah, yeah, I think it's why I decided to get into acting is a totally, it's a different side of my brain because I'm very analytical, even producing, it's like you do a certain number of steps, everything has like a point A and a point B and everything has an answer. And then you get into acting and you're like, I'm just gonna throw this out here and hopefully they like it and I like it and we'll see how this goes. So I've had to learn how to let go quite a bit of that, like, control and knowing what the end result is always going to be.
That is true. A lot of things like production and so many things are like true or false questions, and acting is the essay question.
Yes. That is the perfect metaphor. Yes.
It's
Yeah.
like, what? Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe this
Yeah.
or
It's like, are there wrong answers?
no,
Not really.
maybe. Yeah, it's been quite a ride, but I've learned so much just even about myself, getting into this whole thing. So
It's just fascinating. And then, of course, you are another Canadian person. Yes, yay,
yes,
Canadians.
a
Now, when
Canadian. Yeah.
I saw you were born in Edmonton, and I thought, yeah,
Oh my gosh.
she got out of there and moved to Vancouver. I mean, you were a kid, but it's
Got
really
it.
cold in Edmonton. People who have not been to Edmonton, Alberta, cannot fully comprehend
No.
how cold it is. I mean, I guess if you live in Buffalo, New York, you understand how
Yeah.
cold Edmonton is,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
it's so cold. I was doing dinner theater today, telling you before the show, and I was there for the Christmas show. So I was there from like November to January
The
doing a
worst time of the year.
bedroom farce, and it was like 40 below. We had blizzards and snow drifts. Now we
Yeah.
were a hit because it was a goofball bedroom farce, and also I guess everyone had seen nothing but parkas for 6 weeks, so they came to see everybody in their underwear, and it was like, and so we thought people are going to come to this, and they came out on
They
like
did,
New
they
Year's
came
Eve in a
anyway.
hangover in the snow, and that's the weird part. In LA, if it
Oh my, if
rains,
it rains, even like if it drizzles, not even rains, if it
rain
drizzles.
10 minutes. Sorry,
Yeah.
man, I can't come.
That's
People
right.
will
Yeah.
not come to your show. You can have a showcase in LA. If it rains, they ain't coming. I was in Edmonton and we were sold out standing room only on a New Year's Day matinee. They were hungover and there was a
They
blizzard
still
and they
came.
came to the theater.
But bravo, Edmontonians. Those are real people there. I mean, yeah, I guess you just acclimatize. Like I ate ice. I remember you still eat ice cream in the winter when it's -40. Dairy Queen. I remember Dairy Queen trips with my family during the winter time and still eating ice cream when it's freezing outside. But yeah, I still have cousins there and some family, and they always say to come visit. And I'm like, I'm just gonna wait till the summertime, till the snow's gone.
I mean, I had a really good time there. I mean, other than nearly freezing to death. All the people were really nice, and that was, I
Yeah.
think, it started the giant mall, the giant
The West Edmonton Mall, that's the
that had like
prize. Yeah.
just opened. This is how long ago this was, and so it's like, wow, this is really big.
Yeah, it's really big.
It's a fun place, but if you have the right clothing,
Yeah. That's the key. If you have enough layers and the correct clothing of goose down puffer jackets, but any exposed part of your face, your hands will get frostbite. It will. Yeah.
Yeah, what was it? They had something on the news, and they said it was the flash freeze factor today is 10 seconds, meaning that's how long you had
That's
if
how
you
long
didn't
you
have
have.
coverage to
It's like a
scarf
horror
before
movie.
hurt your nose. And it was just so bad. And then, of course, you quite sensibly, your family took you to Vancouver.
Thank God.
Weather's so much nicer in Vancouver. It gets like San Francisco cold in
It gets San
Vancouver.
Francisco, although we did just have a pretty snowy winter, but it lasted, like a week, and then
Right.
that was it. So can't really
Sprinkle. Go up to Grouse Mountain.
Yeah, there you go. You're
yeah.
Vancouver. Yeah,
But
yeah,
the rest of it's on the ocean, so it gets windy, it gets
yeah.
cold. But you're
Rainy.
not shoveling snow. No, 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 no.
No,
It's
no.
Vancouver. It's lovely. That's where my mother was from, Shaughnessy Heights.
Yes,
As we say.
Shaughnessy.
Super sweetie part of town. And my mother was basically the Canadian Nellie Olson.
Did she go to York House too? Did she go to York
She went to
House?
York House
Oh,
and
she
Prince
did.
of Wales, the whole bit. She was very fancy.
Nice.
And then my dad was the farm kid from Saskatchewan. So
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
hilarious. What a team. They met in the theater, but they actually well, you hang in Vancouver, so then the Vancouver Playhouse.
Yes, I do.
Right. The great grandfather of the Vancouver Playhouse was the Totem Theater. Many of the original Bourne Totem Theater, anyone who's still alive is like on the board of that. And my dad and Stuart Baker, my mother, they founded Totem Theater.
Oh wow, that's incredible.
They're like, my dad is like an answer to a history question on like a theater history exams at the college in Vancouver. There's like, he's a trivia question. Well, yeah, when we were having his memorial, I called Vancouver Playhouse and they said, yeah, your father started Totem Theater.
Yeah, of course you can.
Anything you want. What, take the room. What the hey, yeah. So they have plaques. You go over to the Granville where they have a little walk of fame. Each of my parents has a little circle thing.
That's incredible, Allison. That's so cool that you grew up with a family too that was in the
famous
arts.
Canadians.
Yeah, famous Canadians.
So we love Vancouver. So now they shoot Kung Fu in Vancouver. Where is Kung Fu the show actually supposed to be? Because
It's
everything's in
supposed
Vancouver.
to, yeah, they shoot a ton of CW shows in Vancouver. It's pretty crazy. But Kung Fu actually takes place in San Francisco. It's supposed to be, and
It
then
looks very nice.
obviously up in like the Shaolin Monastery up in the mountains. But we film a lot in Chinatown in Vancouver, and then obviously there's the sound stages as well. So
Which is huge. It's one of the biggest Chinatowns around. I
yeah,
don't know
it's
if
a big
it's
one.
New York bigger, maybe.
I
That's
don't
yeah,
know. There's San Francisco, New
maybe the
York,
largest.
and LA, or sorry, Vancouver. I think it might be San Francisco is the
San
bigger.
Francisco might be number one. But I think Vancouver it's like
It's pretty
two.
big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's huge. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. They have the whole old town and everything. So yeah, you can make it anywhere. And it look and as I said, climate it is a little like San Francisco. It's it gets rainy and foggy.
Yeah.
So it's the perfect
Yeah.
place to pretend to be San Francisco.
Exactly.
So this is good. You get to hang out in your hometown to work.
Yeah. It's been wonderful. I mean, I can't complain. Just be able to go back and forth between LA and Vancouver, two cities aren't too shabby. But been in LA. I would say come back in the summer in Vancouver. Go visit the summer times in Vancouver are absolutely phenomenal. The weather is just stunning and there's just so much nature and things like that to see. And then when it starts getting rainy, you can pop back over to LA and enjoy the sunshine.
And spend like 1 week in August in Edmonton and then just like
Oh, yeah, that's right. Let's not forget about Edmonton. Yeah, maybe 1 week, maybe 5 days, not a full
it's
week.
summer. It's summer. Don't even right. So and yet in watching the show, it's I know it's the San Francisco Chinatown thing, and it's so many supernatural elements.
Yeah.
It's. Do you see it as almost a sci-fi show because it seems like there's a ghost every episode?
There's a ghost or a spirit, I guess I would say, and there's spirits and people that come back from the dead, and there's a lot of like people getting possessed. And if you catch up on season 3, this Xiao character, it's so fun because she gets to like mind control basically and enter other people's bodies, and you get to see some really fun performances from the other actors that have been in the show for a bit. But yeah, it's not really sci-fi. I would say it's like action adventure drama, and at its core it's a show about family and protecting your family and honoring your family and that kind of thing. So and season 3 is a little bit darker too, which has been fun from a difference between the first and second season. So yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderfully well, yeah, that's right. With all the possession, it's like, well, now I have to be you because I'm all right. But it's I like it very much. It's a very spooky thing going on. It's fab. So I've been reading about you. Very interesting person. You do some of the stunts on the show. That show is very stunt heavy. There is
Very
a lot
stunt
of
heavy.
hello kung fu martial arts. The characters are absolutely martial arts experts, and there's a lot of that fighting. So how much stunt work have you had to do?
So it's been, you'll get, for me, I'll get like a day or 2 of rehearsal before we film a certain episode. And I mean, I have to give major props to the entire stunt team and the stunt performers for us that come on set. And so much of the time it's like, I'm like, oh, I can do that. Like I can take that fall, or I want to do the hit because you just want to do it. But then I understand too, like you don't want to hurt yourself. Like Tom Cruise hurt himself in Mission Impossible and it took out the whole movie, right? So I totally understand. Like I get to do quite a bit, but also the stunt doubles who are phenomenal. They step in quite a bit of the time, and they'll take the hits and the falls and all that kind of stuff for you.
Right, because as an actor, we're tempted to go, I can do it.
I'm always like, put me in, coach.
But that's also, as actors, we will lie on our resume and say, yes, I skateboard and ride a horse.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, I can do that. I'll figure it out.
I know how to do that. And so our temptations go, sure. And it's like, no, because see, if the stunt person breaks the wrist, we have the other stunt person do it. If you break the wrist, we're kind of stuck. And the stunt person's also not going to break a wrist because they do this all day long. So yeah, I mean, we had that on Little House. Everyone's like, did you ride a horse? Well, of course, I'm the weirdo who can't ride a horse at all. Like, forget it.
It's hard.
Hopeless. So we stunt people for the horses. Now Melissa could ride a horse, but it's like, oh, I want to do it. No, because this part's dangerous and we need to be here tomorrow.
Yeah,
So we're
exactly. But
having
you're
the
like, okay,
ladies get
fine.
on the horse. Yeah, the kids are not doing this part. We're having the stunt woman doing. "Oh, okay. So yeah, we're sometimes no, no, no,
Yeah,
no.
even things as like it seems a completely harmless or mundane as like just taking a light fall to the ground. I remember in the Hallmark movie I filmed last year, it was like just tripping and falling onto a mat. The director was like, are you sure you want to do that? Like you might wake up tomorrow and certain parts of your body will hurt because you just don't think taking a little fall is going to hurt. It's just like getting rear-ended, right? And the next morning you're like, why am I sore everywhere? So that's what the stunt doubles are there for, and they're awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
real professionals. Well, as I asked me about the going down the hill in the wheelchair thing, I did go down a longer, less steep hill. So I
Did
was
you?
in a wheelchair with no seat belts and just my nightgown and bedroom slippers bending down a hill, but not but the big hill with they had a stunt woman who not only was able to take the big hill, she actually shot out of the chair and did like this midair
Oh my
somersault into the pond.
gosh.
And I said, yeah, I draw the line at midair
Yeah, yeah,
somersault.
yeah,
That's not
exactly.
it. I guarantee you that is a stunt person. That is
It's
not
funny
happening.
when they step into it's like, all right, let's let the big kids play here for a second. And you stand there on the side and you're like, oh, whoa, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. They can really do that. Yeah. And they're not going to get hurt. They are just not going to get hurt because that's what. So
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
professionals. It's often good to have them do things, but you have been studying all these things to not hurt yourself and know how. And
Yeah.
I saw because you have a fabulous Instagram account and all this stuff
Oh,
going.
thank you.
Um, yoga, which makes so much sense because with yoga,
Yeah.
that's all the stretching and the yoga is how you make sure you don't get injured.
Stay limber. You stay limber. Yes. It's really important even before, I think for me, yoga too is just mind, body reset, take a break, spend 15-20 minutes a day, even if you can, just on yourself and reset. But yeah, yoga has definitely helped um just stay limber and physically fit. So when these roles do come up, it's not just like, oh, I haven't moved my body in like, a month. Good luck.
And when you get to be my age, you could bump into a wall and break your hip.
No.
It's so that's why staying limber is really important as
Yeah.
you might you get older because you don't want to just like go, oh no, it wasn't even like an
Yeah.
athletic thing, and it's like, oh, I broke my
Have you
ribs.
tried have you tried yoga, Allison? Do you?
Yes, there was a I did yoga a lot as a kid. It was
Yeah,
very popular back in the 70s. And then there were yoga classes in the neighborhood a few years ago, but I just started a very scary stretching class that is like a kind of yoga and stretching, and
that's
I
great.
actually had to take a break after like one because I was like,
Oh
ow.
no.
Like,
Oh yeah, go easy.
really
Jesus.
stretching everything. And that's the thing is all that stretching and limberness and yoga. It's your coordination is better. It's
Yeah.
learning coordination so you don't fall down. You
Hmm.
don't because you just suddenly, oh look, I didn't trip. I tripped, but I didn't fall.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And even for me, it's like I like doing gentle yoga too, just stretching. I mean, I can already feel it if I don't stretch for a week. I'm like, oh wow, I'm already tightening up here or whatnot. So it's good to stay active.
Right, because you could hurt yourself in that show, being the evil ghost, terrible
Evil,
possessed.
scary
Evil,
lady.
scary evil lady, because obviously it's going to be some episode where somebody's going to whack her with something. Eventually, they're not going to put
Oh
up with
yeah. Yeah.
it. Someone's going to throw
She
something.
deserves it. Okay, let's be honest. She's not been very nice, but you know what? She has her reasons and she's doing it for good in her own mind. So
But that's the thing. That's how when we play villains, we say, "Well, I
yeah,
had to. It was revenge.
yeah,
You
because
don't know. You know what they did to me. You know what they did to me. It's
exactly. Yeah. You can't judge your character. Yeah.
no,
No
no. They're
bad
right.
person ever
Whatever it is,
thinks you did.
they are right at that
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah. But really in real life we're not, we're not like that.
And we go, but then when we're done doing it, go, wow, that was awful. God,
Yeah.
but
It's
in the
funny too
moment,
because even when they call cut, yeah, you're supposed to stay in the scene, stay in the character. But when they call cut, I mean, we have so much fun on that show too. But it's like I'm in this dark, deeper voice and thing, and then they call cut, and I'm like, how was that?
right? And I got teased about that on Little House because I'd be absolutely tormenting some poor girl, and then they
Yeah.
say that, and I'm like, "Sue, you want to go like a Slurpee?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, wait, who are you? Oh,
Yeah. You're like, I don't know who that was back there. I don't know
I
what
have
got
no
into.
idea what that just happened. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, it's really weird how one can shift gears and just turn into someone else. But it's so much fun. There's something very gratifying about it.
It is so much fun. I think everyone hopefully has a chance to play a bad guy or secretly wants to play a bad guy. I think we all have a dark side too, and you just get to like have so much fun with it. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite character in villainy from other stuff you've watched?
Oh, you know who I love was Kate Blanchett. She's in Thor, and she plays this character called Hela, and she just is so deliciously sinister, but she's just her performance is so great in it. She's just very nuanced, and she's one of my favorite villains in the Marvel world, at least. Yeah,
Oh,
very
fantastic.
cool.
Now, so you have to go check that. Perfect. Right. Now,
Yeah.
I'm also looking at you. Like I said, you're everywhere. You're all over the internet. You're in everything. You're ready to. You also are an enthusiast of motorcycle riding.
Yes, I
Not
love.
that having to stay in shape so you don't hurt yourself. Hello.
I
But
know,
you
right? And then go off and do something very dangerous.
you can jump on a
Um,
bike now. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I decided I wanted to get my motorcycle license back in university when I was in San Diego, and since then I've always just I love it's actually quite the opposite of what people think riding a bike is, but it's so meditative for me actually. If you go out and you all your senses are kind of like ignited, your sight, your hearing, your sound, like everything is very heightened, and you have to be so present. That's one of the coolest things about riding is that you have to be present. You can't be thinking about other things, right? Because you need to be focused on the road. And it's almost like yoga. It sounds very counterintuitive, but yeah, you have to be very present, and it's very calming. You go up in the mountains or you go right down by the beach, and it's a wonderful outlet
Well,
for
right.
sure.
You'd have to be focused because I mean you hit like a rock.
Yeah,
I think
exactly. Any tiny little, thing. Yeah, it's dangerous, but I love it. It's one of my favorite pastimes. So,
so you almost are kind of like a badass comic book hero.
oh, I guess.
Motorcycle
So if you put it that way,
martial arts is like
my dream
I'm
role
a
is
neuroscientist. We could like
yeah, a mad scientist who rides a bike off into her secret lair at night and tortures people. How about that?
I think can I be in that? Yes, yeah. I mean,
Yes, yes, yes.
totally. I could totally get into
You
that.
and I are going to work together on something at some point. We're going to write something, and so.
Excellent. So, what do you say to obviously young people who want to get into entertainment, who want to become actors? What do you tell them? What would you say?
Yeah, it's been really interesting actually, even not even just young people, but any peers of mine that have approached me most recently and said, "Hey, like, I'd love to get into acting." The first thing I tell them is get into acting class, see if you like it, get your feet wet and learn how to read a script, break down a script. Do you like movies? Do you like TV? Because a lot of times people don't even like watching stuff, and it's like, why do you want to be an actor or an entertainer, right? It's like, but yeah, the first thing I would say is get into an acting class and enjoy it. Learn how to enjoy reading a script and breaking it down and finding the story and learning about characters and that kind of thing. So, and then if you like that, then that's the next step. And auditioning is this whole other thing, right? It's its own beast
It's
of its own.
by itself. There's like acting for movies, acting for television, acting for stage, and then acting
Commercials.
for auditioning, which is
Yes.
a complete other format. And
Yeah.
it's weird. I mean, a lot of actors even said, I can't do in the movie what I did in the audition. It wouldn't work. I actually did like a
Exactly.
totally different thing in the audition with the
Yeah.
because
Isn't
it's
that
its own
wild?
thing. It's its own thing.
It's totally its own thing. And that's what makes it so interesting too, is that you just really never stop learning in this industry. Every audition is different, every project is different, so it's just a constant you're just learning new things all the time.
And now, of course, so many of the auditions are the self tapes or have someone tape them.
Yeah.
We're not going in and speaking in person to people like we did years ago.
Exactly.
And so that's a whole weird experience.
Yeah, it's a very weird experience, but I think we've learned to kind of embrace it too. It's you can also be a little bit more mobile. You just got to bring your little setup everywhere you go and be prepared to take
Get my ring light. Get
your
my
ring light,
light.
your wonderful ring light, which I'm going to go on Amazon and probably buy right after this. Yeah.
It's like, oh, you look so good.
Yeah.
And it's a whole weird world. And for those who obviously grew up like going to the in-person auditions, it made sense. Obviously, the pandemic said, well, everything's going to be self-taped. And then, of course, they said, well, we can have you back. But they're like, but why would we? When we can just, we all
We're
can
doing a
just
Zoom. Zoom auditions now are very tough.
assume at least you could talk to someone. I'd like
Yes.
that. That seems more, it's a little more personal.
Yeah. Yeah. But the landscape's changed so much, and we've had to adapt quite quickly. So yeah.
And so do you see this, as I said, we're talking about the whole wave now of representation of Asian Americans and Chinese people in film and TV. Do you see this really continuing? Because, the thing that I see a lot is that Hollywood and the studios often don't really do things out of the goodness of their heart or because it's the right thing. They
Right.
will do it because, oh, well, this is popular right this second, and my
Yeah.
friend told me to do it, and it's good box office. So
It's dollar
we're gonna
signs,
do
dollar
that.
signs.
Dollar sign. Oh, is that making money? We're doing that now. Is that a
Yeah.
good thing? I have no idea. Is it a good thing and a bad thing? Is it making? Okay, great. And they just do it. And
Yeah.
it's not like they sat down and said, we really should do this. We really need to have more different. They just said, oh, this is in now. So
This is
it's
in,
like,
it's in. Yeah.
what trajectory does it have? How long does it last? Does it become another thing?
I
Do
know.
they keep it up? Yeah. What do we know what's going to happen with this?
We don't know, and I just think in Hollywood, you ride the waves, the ups and the downs, and you kind of go with it and see what happens. There's always going to be an evolution, I think, and it'll be the next thing. And everyone's just kind of like fighting for their chance and their opportunities here. And yeah, you just ride the wave while it's there, because it could be gone in a second too. Yeah.
And that's the thing with Hollywood. I mean, growing up, that's my father was a manager. Always said it could be over tomorrow. That's true.
Totally.
Literally everyone in it.
Everything, even a role that you have, right? It's like after Kung Fu, it's like, this could be the last time I work for a little while, or I could get something tomorrow. You never know. So you just have to be present and appreciative and grateful for the opportunities when you have them. So
very good attitude. And that's the thing too, like you're saying, you establish yourself. You go, okay, right now there's a thing going on. Great. Yeah. And then you
awesome.
go, but I'm going to be so good at this that then they keep me.
Exactly.
You get the foot in door, and then you establish yourself and show what you are and what you do.
Yeah.
Different from everybody else.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the hardest things, like, I've learned. I when I first started, I had no idea how tough it would be to get your foot in the door. And once you're in, I understand now. It's like you build your relationships and people trust you. They're like, oh, I mean, being on set, like for new actors, I can't imagine like hopping on a huge set with all these people, like crew, network execs, other people around you, and just watching and like not having any experience and just freezing up. So it makes sense, like, for people to start trusting you, like, okay, their resume, they've worked on set before. We know that they know what they're doing. Yeah, it's pretty intimidating. I would say, like, do you remember your very first like project when you were younger where you did? Oh no.
Bananas. Okay, so I was like, I have a Screen Actors Guild card that says member since 1967. I'm 5. I did a commercial, and I'm amazed that I ever worked again after this. Actually,
hey, you were 5. They yeah.
For ketchup. And
oh yes,
I love ketchup, but it was that thing in the 60s. It was put the tomato, try to force the tomato into a bottle. That was their big thing. We had all these tomatoes in the bottle. So little tiny children going, how does the tomato get in the bottle? Trying to like stick it in. It was cute. So I'm like, they said, here, like try to press down on the tomato bottle. And I'm like, well, that's not going to work, And they're like, yeah, no, do I? Okay. Well, of course the tomato bursts. I'm the one who gets the tomato breaks. And I was like dressed in a cute little white outfit, little dress.
A white one, of course. I was going to say, what color were you wearing?
White, little like tennis white, little like blonde hair, little tennis tomato. And I was just like, and of course they come running over, and of course the crew's laughing hysterically because they're going, "This is brilliant. We're totally keeping this in." But like,
they keep it in, yeah.
Oh God, yeah, it was too good. But then they come running with like the towels and things. Are you okay, little girl? Do you need anything? And of course I said, in like Betty Davis intonations, yes, get this goddamn tomato juice off of me. And so shockingly, I did get a job after that. But
I love it.
Weird. And I did all these kids, but like Little House was very intimidating because that was a series, and there were 1 million people working there. There was a million people. There was we had the crew and the thing, and they're building the sets. We're on location. I mean, it was an insanely huge number of people, the cast and crew, and absolutely. And we were out in Seaming. It was 1 million degrees, and I was like fainting. I passed out like.
And people say acting is glamorous. It's so funny. I always tell that to people too, because it just, people that get into it, I'm like, and another thing, it's not glamorous. I mean, we shot an episode of Kung Fu too, and it was just pouring rain. I looked around and everyone was just, standing there freezing with their umbrellas, and they take great care of you, but it's not always glamorous. You're not.
When you go to work, you're cold or you're hot or you're soaking wet or you're dirty. We got so dirty.
Dirty.
You come home, we go, I've been on a movie set. Yeah. And
Yeah.
when we hose down, it's like, wait, what happened? And yeah, you get dirty and sweaty, and it's either 120 degrees or 10 below zero, and and the swimsuit scene is on the day it's 40 degrees,
Of course.
and the parkas and some.
And you have to look like you're having a holiday vacation in the sun. Yeah.
Always, it's much harder physically. It is, like I said, but the shows, I always said it was great to be on, but physically it was really challenging stuff. And that's the thing. People don't realize how physically hard it can be.
Yeah, it really is. And your mind, it's mind over matter in so many of these situations. So
it's intimidation. And then coming into a show, and I sure, I was in shock probably for the first 3 days of Little House, going, where am I? What is happening?
Who am I?
But then we all got real comfy. And then people had to come on the show, Dean Butler, who plays Almanzo, Mary's Laura. People had to show up season 3, season 4, season 5 as a regular. And we've all been hanging out together for 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, hi.
Hey, I'm the new kid.
And I always felt terrible for them. I thought, these poor people. It was terrified out of their mind.
It always feels like even on Kung Fu, right? It's on season 3, and these they've built a family, and it's honestly though been one of the most wonderful experiences coming into a show as the new kid and stepping into this role. But everyone has been so welcoming, and the cast and the crew and everyone is just absolutely wonderful. It's definitely like a family on that show. But
we had the thing, you show up and everyone's already got their in jokes, and they all know.
Yeah, totally. And they're like, and cracking their inside jokes, and you're like sitting there at lunch wondering if they're going to invite you over, and you're like, oh, hey, yeah.
And we tried now in Little House. We always tried to go out of our way and go,
yeah,
new person's here. They're probably really scared.
Really scared. Yeah. It's always nice when the series regulars and people like that come over and welcome you in. So
I think it's the only decent thing to do.
It's the thing to do, but so many people don't do it.
So that's the thing. Well, in some shows, they're just not. They're just kind of like, fine, you're here, go to work, people are shocked. Like some shows, I think the cast that really got along and still speak to each other after the show are like Gilligan's Island, Little House on the Prairie, and the Waltons.
Yeah.
And Smash. People Mash don't talk to each other. That's like it. Nobody's talking to anybody. It's like, and so it is hard. And people who, if they're new or they come in a new show, it's terrifying. It's terrifying.
Yeah, it really is. But again, that's the fun, exciting part about our industry too. Like I said, every experience is new. It's terrifying. I think if it doesn't scare you, maybe that's why I like riding motorcycles and just taking and being scared, if it doesn't scare you, you're not doing something right. So it keeps things interesting.
A little adrenaline there. That's true.
A little adrenaline. Yeah.
What's this one going to be like? So you clearly have the right attitude towards these situations. I think you're going to do very well here. What you have 8 million things. You have 8 million things coming up. Where can we see this crazy mom fight thing? And
oh my gosh!
Other projects. I want everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mom Fight is available. It's on YouTube. I'll have to email you a link. It's actually a really fun action comedy short that I put together because I wanted to start doing more action roles and things like that. So that's part of where producing came in. So you can watch that on YouTube. Really fun little Christmas action comedy short with an amazing stunt team. And Kung Fu is available. Our mid-season finale was right before the holidays, and now we're starting back up again on episode 9. There's 4 episodes left. You can watch that on the CW app and catch up on all the episodes. And yeah. That's it.
Oh, and coming out in the other project coming out.
In the spring. There's a show on Apple TV called The Last Thing He Told Me, starring Jennifer Garner with Reese Witherspoon's company, Hello Sunshine, and that should be a really fun, dramatic series that's coming out, and you might see a familiar face on there as well. So hopefully, I think that's coming out in the spring.
Nice. So working, working, working. And you are all over social media because I totally web stalked you as soon as I found you. And I'm like,
Mainly
oh,
Instagram.
follow,
Yeah, mainly
follow.
Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a little bit more on Twitter, but one thing.
Instagram's fun. I like Instagram. I like Instagram. What are you on Instagram so people can find
It's
you?
Jen Khoe, JenNKhoe on Instagram, and same
Okay,
with
cool.
Twitter as well. So
I was just actually texting with Erin. Erin Murphy was on Bewitched. Apparently she's Dateline is now following. She has a fake. There's a fake Erin.
oh, that's when you know you've made it too, is when someone makes a fake account.
There's a fake her, and she was appalled and like telling her friends, "Look, it's a fake me. Look, I only have the one account.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not messaging people asking for money, so that's her first
Oh
clue.
no, that's dangerous.
It's not me." And then she decided to have some fun, so she created another account and messaged the person and said, "Oh yes, my brother wants to date you," and she's now playing like Catfish the
That
Catfish
is
right now.
so funny.
She's texting with her fake self and like having these like Mad Hatter Tea Party conversations and
That's
like putting them
amazing.
up on Facebook. She's
You
having
may
a
as well have fun
day.
with it, right? You could A,
Right.
report the account, or B, you could just mess with them.
Yeah, she was like, I was so mad, but this is hilarious now.
That's so funny. God, yeah, these fake accounts, they pop up quite a bit, and like you're just getting scammed. The internet is a very scary place right now. Just even phone calls, internet, just the scammers out there. You got to be careful. Don't give money to anyone that's asking for money. People don't just ask for money.
Strange people message you. Yeah, no, don't give them money. No, no, no. And you know, it's just so banana stuff. But yeah, no, she's having a field day with it. And she's putting up going, oh, look what fake me said today.
That is hilarious. Good for her. I love that she went that route with things.
She's very clever. So yeah, it's very, very funny stuff. So yeah, thank you for braving the internet. Your Instagram is lovely.
Oh,
And, this is great. I'm just looking forward to your stuff. I really enjoyed seeing you be villainous and torment those poor darling young people who are just trying to solve crimes and fight off
they didn't do anything wrong, they didn't deserve it,
because it's an intergenerational thing. It's not, but it was like their grandparents
exactly what it just got passed down, they're just by association, unfortunately.
Well, I'm so glad. Welcome to the Villains Club.
Thank you. I'm glad to be a part of the Villains Club with you, and soon we'll be part of the Hallmark Club. You and I are.
I need to get in on this Hallmark action. Yeah. We will have to do that. That'll be awesome. This is wonderful. So pleased to meet you, and like I said, in your production company and all of this, like just fabulous like stuff that you have going on. I'm like, yes, you did what the mom, and then she does yoga. She rides a bike, and I'm like, yeah. So I'm very impressed, very pleased to have met you, and thank you so much for coming on. And yes, this is the Allison Arngrim Show, and I'm Allison Arngrim.
Great. Best of luck with all your projects and going to France too. Enjoy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I found my way home across the ground.